Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and yes, today we are going to be doing a brutally honest review of the Seachem Tidal series of hang-on back filters. This is a filter that we have had in our fish room now for years, and we've had all the different sizes, and we currently have all the different sizes up and running in our fish room. That's the Seachem Tidal 35, 55, 75, and the 110. Not only that, we've done long-term reviews of each one of these filters, which I have put in the description below. If you want a lot more information about any one particular filter, check that out there. And before I forget, I want to say a big thank you to all the people who have gone to primetimeaquatics.com and have gotten the new awesome shirts. We got the Fish Wrangler shirts, we've got Shrimp Wrangler and the Stuck on You. Thank you so much for all of you who have gone and checked out these shirts and are styling and looking good. Now, in terms of the Seachem Tidal line, we are going to look at some of the advantages, and I want to look at some of the disadvantages that you may face. I think one of the most important advantages to the Seachem Tidal series is the motor placement. The motor housing actually goes inside the tank in the water. This is huge for us. I think it is one of the single most important features of a hang-on back filter, and there's two reasons for that. If the motor is actually in the water, the filter usually is a self-priming filter, as is the case with the Seachem Tidal line. What that means is you don't have to fill the back of the filter with water to get it to run. The motor is inside, it just sucks the water in, fills up the back, and boom, it starts coming out the other end. And that is a huge advantage relative to a lot of other filters on the market. That also means if you got a power blip or something happens where the power cuts out, the filter is going to restart all on its own. Sometimes with other filters, when the power goes out, that won't happen. The other thing that it means is your filter is most likely going to be far more quiet if the motor is inside the tank, and that has been the case with the Seachem Tidal line. It is the quietest filter that we have. The other feature I really like about the Seachem Tidal line is the adjustable flow. Again, this is a must-have for us. And the nice thing about the Seachem Tidal line, unlike some of the other filters that claim to have an adjustable flow, the adjustable flow is highly adjustable. You can get it to go from a trickle to full blast, and it's really easy to control. And that's great if you're keeping different types of fish or the community stocking changes in your aquarium. It's nice to have that adjustable flow. The other thing I really like about the Seachem Tidal line is it's so easy to maintain these hang-on back filters. They have a filter basket that, in my opinion, is the easiest filter basket to use. You just lift it right out, you take out your media, do whatever you need to do with it, replace it, clean it, put new media in, back in it goes, done. The whole process usually takes us less than a minute. Now, there is one other advantage I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, but I wanted to get into some of the disadvantages because, like I said, this is supposed to be a brutally honest review based on our experience, and no piece of fish tank equipment, aquarium equipment is perfect. And the Seachem Tidal line is no exception to that. And so there are some things to consider. Thing number one, I guess this is just more of a minor annoyance on my part, and that is the blue dials. And I've mentioned this before. I know people said, oh, you can paint them. I don't want to buy something and have to paint it so I don't have to look at it in the back of my aquarium. And so I know it's a branding thing, but for any company who's making fish tank equipment, your equipment should be nearly invisible. That should be the goal. The goal should be the fish and the aquarium, never, ever the equipment. The equipment should be in the background, blending in. And those blue dials are an eyesore, and I can't stand the way those things look. The nice thing is they're fairly small, and with the plants and the rocks and all that kind of stuff in an aquarium, you really don't notice it. And once it's been in there for a while, you don't notice it much anymore. But if I were going to redesign that filter or make some updates, those blue dials would be black. It would blend in much nicer. Again, minor, very minor annoyance. Maybe it's just me. Thing number two. And this one, well, it's a little bit more of an issue for some people. When you look at reviews of the Seachem Tidal line, what you're going to notice is the overwhelming majority of negativity comes from a feature I think is wholly and completely unnecessary in this filter line, and that is the surface skimmer. The surface skimmers on these filters for freshwater aquariums, in my opinion, are unnecessary, and they're causing not a lot of issues, but they're causing some issues for some people. Issue number one is if your water level starts to go down maybe a couple inches and that surface skimmer is exposed to the air, it starts to make some noise. Now for us, not a big deal. Look at our aquariums all throughout the background here. We keep our aquariums full. But for people who let the aquarium water maybe evaporate a little bit too much, that thing starts to make a noise. The other issue with the surface skimmer is if you've got, let's say, some duckweed, or in our case one time we had some hornwort and it started to die and all those little tiny leaves started to kind of float around the water and it's got stuck to the surface skimmer, started to make some noise. Again, the surface skimmer to me, if I were going to redesign that filter, would be gone because I don't think it's necessary in a freshwater aquarium, and I think it causes more headaches than it's worth. Now again, it's a minor thing, but certainly something to consider. Next thing, and this is very specific to just one of the filters, and that is the Seachem Tidal 35. It's the smallest of the filters they offer. We have one back here in our 50-gallon lowboy, and it is perfect for that 10-inch aquarium. The problem with the Seachem Tidal 35 is it does not have an intake tube. The 55, the 75, the 110 all have telescoping intake tubes. That's great. 35 doesn't, which means the intake is actually connected directly to the filter housing. That also means it's not the best suited filter for taller aquariums. I like it, love it, in fact, on this 50-gallon lowboy. I really like them on 20-gallon longs, but once you get to a standard 20-gallon or taller, it's not such a good filter because that intake is so close to the surface of the aquarium. So I really wish if they were redesigning that filter, there should absolutely be an intake for that particular filter. Last thing I want to mention about the Seachem Tidal line, because I think it's important, and that is cost. The Seachem Tidal series is one of the most expensive hang-on-back filters on the market. Now I did want to mention one more advantage, and this one is huge. Of all of the fish tank hang-on-back filters we've had in our fish room, and over the years, that has been pretty much almost all the brands, many different sizes. There is only one brand that has never gone down, that has never broken on us, that has never stopped running, and that of course is the Seachem Tidal line. The 35s, the 55s, the 75s, and the 110s, we've got all the sizes. Not once has that filter ever stopped flowing. We've had filters that stop because there's too much sand, too much detritus, there's a power blip, power goes out, even for just a couple seconds, the filter won't restart. The Seachem Tidal line has never failed us, and for me, for us, that's critical, because in the end, it doesn't matter what features a filter has if the thing is going to stop running. These things have absolutely been bulletproof. They've gone through everything, every possible situation. I've had them on some really heavily stocked tanks with Mbuna cichlids that are kicking up all kinds of sand and detritus and everything, and these filters just go. And so that is our most important thing. That is why, if I could only have one filter in our fish room, it would be the Seachem Tidal line. Again, if you want more information, if you want to see the reviews on each one of the filter sizes, check out the description. If you are interested in purchasing this filter, check out the description below. We'll have Amazon affiliate links down there for you as well. Would love to hear from you in your experience. What has the Seachem Tidal line been like for you? Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.